Welcome back to Auto Car, the place where gearheads, collectors, and truck lovers all come together to appreciate the raw beauty of classic machines. Today, we're going back in time to take a closer look at a true American workhorse, the 1987 Ford F-150 X4. A truck that not only marked a significant shift in Ford's lineup but also set the tone for what we now know as the modern pickup. So grab a seat, buckle up, and let's cruise through everything that made this truck a game changer. At first glance, the 87 F-150 might not look too far removed from its early 80s predecessors, but there's more to this square-body beast than meets the eye. 1987 was a turning point. It marked the first year of the 8th generation of the F-Series, and with it came some subtle but important design updates. You've got cleaner lines, a revised front end with a more aerodynamic nose, and flush headlights replacing the previous sealed beam units. It's that blend of boxy ruggedness and slight modernization that makes the 87 model stand out even today. Now, let's talk about the real reason people love this truck: what's under the hood. The 87 Ford F-150 offered several engine options, but what got gearheads talking was the introduction of fuel injection. That's right, 1987 was the first year Ford dropped the carburetor and went fully fuel injected across the board. That meant smoother starts, better throttle response, improved fuel economy, and lower emissions, all while keeping the kind of reliability Ford was known for. One of the most popular configurations was the 5.0-liter V8, also known as the 302 Windsor. It pumped out around 185 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. Now, those numbers might not blow you away by today's standards, but back in the late 80s, that was solid muscle for a full-size pickup. And if you opted for the 4X4 version, like the one we're focusing on today, you got that power delivered through a tough four-wheel drive system built to handle mud, snow, gravel, and pretty much anything you could throw at it. Transmission options. You had choices. A 4-speed manual came standard, but many opted for the available automatic, which was the C6 3-speed. Later models introduced the E4OD 4-speed automatic. The shift quality on these was robust, not fast, but dependable. This was a truck made to haul, tow, and keep going, not win drag races. When it comes to capability, the 1987 F-154 X4 was no slouch. Depending on the configuration, it could tow up to 7,500 pounds and handle payloads of over 2,000 pounds. Whether it was hauling hay, towing boats, or just getting you through a snow-covered trail, the F-150 was a no-excuses kind of truck. The suspension setup featured Ford's signature twin-traction beam front suspension for the 4X4 models, a system that gave it a softer ride compared to solid axle setups, while still maintaining decent off-road capability. Was it perfect? Not quite. That system had its quirks and required proper maintenance to avoid uneven tire wear. But when dialed in right, it gave a unique blend of comfort and control, especially for a pickup of that era. Inside the cab, the 1987 F-150 kept things straightforward. You're not going to find touchscreens, Bluetooth, or backup cameras here. What you do get is pure, analog simplicity. Big dials, slide controls for the HVAC, and a dash layout that's clean and easy to read. Ford offered a range of trims, from the bare-bones Custom, up to the slightly more luxurious XLT Lariat. Cloth bench seats were common, though vinyl was available for those who needed a hose-it-out kind of interior. One thing that really stands out with the 1987 model year is how Ford started integrating more creature comforts into their trucks. Power windows and locks, air conditioning, even cruise control, these were options starting to creep into the pickup segment, signaling the shift from pure utility to personal vehicle. The F-150 was becoming not just a work rig, but something you could drive daily and be comfortable in. If you've ever driven one, you know there's something uniquely satisfying about the way these trucks feel on the road. The steering is heavy, the brakes are firm, and the ride is honest. There's no fake engine noise, no drive modes to switch through, just raw mechanical feedback. That's what people miss in modern trucks, and that's exactly what the 87 F-150 delivers. Over the years, the 1987 Ford F-154 X4 has earned its spot in the Classic Truck Hall of Fame. Not necessarily because of its flashiness, in fact, it's the opposite. It's the simplicity, durability, and the sense that this truck was built to last. And for many, it did. You'll still see them running today on farms, in small towns, and in garages of folks who know how to take care of a legend. Prices for these have been slowly creeping up in the classic market, especially for clean 4x4 models with original paint and low rust. If you're lucky enough to find one that's been babied, expect to pay anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 depending on condition. But if you're willing to do a bit of wrenching, there are still deals to be had. And let's not forget the customization potential. The 1987 F-150 is a blank canvas for builders, lift kits, off-road tires, crate engines, even full restorations. There's a whole community of enthusiasts out there who live and breathe this generation of Ford trucks. So, if you're someone who appreciates real metal over plastic, old-school torque over turbocharged gadgets, and the kind of vehicle that makes you feel connected to the road, the 1987 Ford F-150 4x4 is absolutely worth your attention. Here at Auto Car, we're all about keeping the spirit of these classic machines alive. Whether you're watching because you're nostalgic, restoring one in your garage, or just love a good truck story, thanks for joining us on this ride through one of Ford's most iconic models. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, drop a comment telling us your favorite memory with the F-150, and subscribe if you haven't already. We've got plenty more classics to cover, and you won't want to miss what's next. Until then, keep it running, keep it clean, and keep it classic. This is Auto Car, signing off.